Hello everybody, welcome to my top 5 Transformers series. As you know, I have watched a lot of Transformers. Probably not one of my least worst habits. But yeah. So this is owned by Hasbro. I do not own anything related to Transformers. Dear God, if you slice me with... If anybody decides to hit me with that copyright, I will remember you. And let's get on to the list with number 5. Number 5, Transformers Rescue Bots. Now, I know I said I wouldn't put it on a top 10 list, but I will put it on the top 5. As Rescue Bots was an interesting series. It was entirely away from Megatron and Optimus Prime, with only Optimus Prime making guest appearances. And although it's not what Watch Mojo made it out to be, as where they said it's all just a bunch of non-life world-ending dangers, there were world-ending dangers, and there were some risks, even for a kid's show, as the world had been taken over once before by that one evil dude. I don't remember his name. The series consists of this one dude and this one girl, and his father's a cop. He's got a brother, a sister, another brother, and another brother. Did I get that right? Sister, brother, father. Yeah, he's got two brothers, a sister, and his father. I don't remember their names. It's been a while since I watched the series. Probably done research before I uploaded this, but oh well. The shows didn't really have much to plot, as it was a kid's show and there was no need for plot. It was pretty much just the danger of the day, with a few specials here and there. And yes, they did have an episode of Flying Lobsters. I wish I had a clip for that, but it wouldn't let me. And now on to number 4. Number 4, Transformers G1. Now, as this one doesn't really hold up to today's standards, it still has held up really well compared to other cartoons. Energon. For its time, it was actually really good, and for this time, it is still pretty good with minor voice acting and what was I gonna say? Voice acting and plot and animation. As the Autobots were struggling to destroy the Decepticons, they moved forward. Of course they moved forward. Oh my god, I need a script, people. Transformers G1 is actually most unique for being one of the first Transformers series ever, and probably also the most unique for getting copyrights of so many Transformers. They lost the rights to Jetfire, they lost the rights to Bumblebee at some point. They also lost the rights to Slug and Strafe. But as the series progressed, and they got more and more characters. This is only Autobots right here. This ain't even all of them. As Transformers G1's main priority was to sell toys. Yeah, which is obvious. And the main plot of the story is the Autobots crash land on Earth. They meet human friends. Danny and who else? Spike. And they just it was pretty much just fighting, and pretty much the main goal was to destroy the Decepticons, which they destroyed Galvatron and Optimus, and killed off Megatron and pretty much half of everybody, just to add more characters to make new toys. And that didn't work out, as it was not well received when they killed off Optimus. because, well, he was the main character, and they didn't like that. So this, and I've watched a few episodes of this, and this has still been one of my favorite Transformers shows to this day. Number 3, Beast Wars. Yeah, well, the only experience I have with Beast Wars has to be from a DVD. It has still been a very, very good show from what I have seen. Of course, we did get that guy who's just like Cheetor, except color and probably personality. But it had to be one of the better Transformer series, and the reason it's halfway on this list is because I actually genuinely liked it. It had a genuine plot to it, unlike the last two we discussed where their plot was all over the place, at least from what I've seen. Correct me if I'm wrong. But as this one focused more on story than selling toys, which it still did, it added in a few new gimmicks with Optimus the first few episodes I saw. But the characters actually had a personality and it wasn't bland. Like you had Cheetor, the troublemaker, Dinobot right there, the traitorous guy. You had Rat Trap, the comic relief. You had him, I forgot his name, who was the smart techie guy. And then you had Optimus Prime, who was Optimus Primal. Yeah, Optimus Primal, who is the strong, wise leader. Well, not as wise as Optimus, but he was a strong leader. And when it came down for him to make a good decision, he was always the one to make it. I don't know the names of the Decepticons or Predacons, but this one does have some cameos with the other Transformers. In fact, in the first episodes, when Cheetor, I believe it was Cheetor, yeah, it was Cheetor, he got blown to bits and they had Starscream swooping by, which was a really interesting and nice touch. And this one may be old due to its age, I guess. It still holds up very well and remains to be a good Transformers series. Number 2, Transformers Animated. Now this is where Transformers gets good. As Transformers Animated came out, it was a very, very risky show. And like that one, like the ones so far, I've only showed the Autobots, but changed the pace. We get the Decepticons here. Now, all the Decepticons were unique in their own way, and same goes for the Autobots, as each one of them had a different personality. The plot in this show ran really smoothly. John, sorry about that. I just cough when I think of terrible TV shows. As you might guess, this is an animated Transformers show. This Transformers Animated has still held up through the ages. It was released in the early 2000s. And instead of Optimus Prime, he was just a navigator, I think, and the Prime was Ultra Magnus, who was the leader. And a douche nozzle. But throughout the entire series, but even through its mass success, it got canceled. Like every good thing does. Is that Blackout or Grindor? Let me know. They're the same thing. We also had appearances of the main Seekers, the ones everybody knows their name, as Thundercracker and Skywarp. The main Seekers. They might have had more, I don't remember. It's been a while, okay? As this has to be one of the best Transformers series, and there's only one show I can think that beats this. Drumroll, please. I'm gonna have to edit a drumroll. Alright, and Transformers Prime. What else could be on this list? Not Transformers Energon, that's for sure. Transformers Prime has to be one of the more maturest show in Transformers history, and the characters have really well developed. And as I watched, and it was one of those shows that you didn't want to stop running, as the Autobots consisted of Optimus Prime, Bulkhead, Wheeljack, RC, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Smokescreen, and Ultra Magnus, and his Cliffjumper, who died early on in the series. And they did that to show there was risk, and they killed off a lot of characters. Optimus almost died, Bumblebee died, who else died? Ultra Magnus almost died. And the show had a darker tone to it than most Transformers shows. It was one of those shows that didn't need a sequel, that we got anyway. And it was a good show. It was a tie-in into Rescue Bots. Well, Rescue Bots was a tie-in to it with guest appearances. It didn't tie in too well. Transformers Prime, the main plot was to destroy Megatron and Decepticons. Well, that was the main objective in every Transformers series. But with the first season being to stop Unicron, and then the second season was to save Orion Pax and turn him back into Optimus. And I haven't watched the third season, but... And the second season was also finding relics. And then the third season was when Megatron died. Spoiler alert! But, you know. I don't know the plot of the third season. It had... I'm not sure if all of it was Beast Hunters, but the plot of that was destroying the Beast Hunters. Predator escaped. After Megatron's demise, Starscream and Shockwave escaped, and Soundwave was trapped in the what was that realm's name? Dark Realm, something like that. Shadow Realm. The main Decepticons, which were actually good, each and every character had their own personalities and had grown in very different ways. But the main character everybody probably loved had to be RC, Bulkhead, or Bumblebee. Of course, Bumblebee. Everybody loves Bumblebee. Optimus Prime, he didn't do much in the series except stand there and be wise and lead the Autobots. But when he did do something, it was awesome. And he does something like 3 times a season. He fought Megatron, which was probably the coolest fight. He didn't seem as useless in Robots Scott Spill. And Transformers Prime did a unique thing that most Transformers series didn't do. It was show what the Decepticons did in their off time. Like, it wasn't just about the Autobots. They have what the Decepticons were doing. They integrated the Decepticons into the show. I have never had a show that had made me root for the bad guys as much as the good guys. Like, I didn't know which one I wanted to win. And while Starscream was scandalous and probably the most untrustworthy person aboard the Decepticons, it was funny at the end of the movie to show how he died. Well, supposedly died, but I don't consider that canon. But alas, all great things come to an end. As we got whatever the heck this is. Seriously. You know how in Transformers Animated they had giant chins? They have giant shoulders. Like, all the modeling goes to their shoulders. I don't know why Windblade is in there. She's never there in the entire series. She's usually always with Optimus or on Cybertron, dealing with Cybertronian things. Don't know why. And that's gonna do it for this video. Oh, by the way, leave a like if you want me to do top 5 worst Transformers series. Oh god. Don't give me ideas. This was hard enough to do anyway. Next time I'm writing a script. Bye guys.